Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a woman who is now living in South Africa, but I am proud to tell you that I belong to the Marine Kingdom, and this is my own story, even though I so hope that one day I'll be able to control the marine spirit that possesses my body. But whenever I try to control this marine spirit, I am always facing a situation whereby I have these panic attacks, never-ending panic attacks. But I hope that one day I would find a cure to treat these marine spirits so that I can be able to get married. My name is Amanda, not a real name, so I live a life that most of the women would want to live. Men, they do love me, and the reason as to why they love me the way that they do, it is because of this marine spirit that follows me. But when you date a woman like me with this dark spirit that resides in my heart, darkness will follow you and destroy your life, but I can't control it, can I? I was born in Harare, and I was born into a very poor family. By the time that I was 17, I was desperate to escape the poverty. There was this other woman who was staying in the same location where I was staying. So she started to introduce me to this other wealthy older man who had a thing for underage girls. I did not like it because I was still too young, but she told me that if I played my card right, this man was going to give me money. No man had ever given me money before, any man but my father, and my father was just broke and poor. I had told myself that I will never marry a man like my father who was broke and poor. And what she did not tell me was that this meeting was going to open a spiritual door that I could never fully close. So I then went with this man to a hotel. He slept with me, as painful as it was, but that was the beginning of the end. And I started dating countless men. So this woman, she was forcing me to date as many men as possible, because the only way that she could make money is if she would introduce me to a new man. Then she will get a commission. I don't know how much she will be making, but since I will be dating the men, there were times when I would lie to her that I am not with the guy, yet I'll be with the men at a certain hotel. So that was the business that she was running, finding all of these underage girls and selling us to rich blessers. Because of the money that I was making, it was quite a lot, and I was happy with it. I was able to provide for my family. My parents, they sensed that there was something that was going on, but they did not even want to know where this money was coming from. My mom then started to say that, my daughter has a gift, and I am pretty sure that there is a mermaid that is bringing all of these wealthy men to my daughter. She then told me that we were supposed to go for a consultation. This we did the first time without the knowledge of my father. But when it came time for my father to be there, that was when my mom told me not to worry, for she knew how to speak with our father. And there was one thing that I was supposed to do, to buy something good for him so that he can taste the goodness of money. So I went out, and then I bought a very beautiful suit for my father and promised him that in time after this ceremony would have been done and he was needed there, to hand me over to the marine spirits. In our country, in Shona, we call it Manjuzu, so that they can bless me with all of this wealth and I can be able to buy for him a car. He was supposed to be there handing me over to the river spirits. And the first time that I went with my mother, we went to the White Garment Prophet. And the nice thing about the White Garment Prophet, you see, they use water. So that water that they use, it is so easy for you to be connected to the marine spirits. That is why they use water whenever they are in their church, healing and what. Notice that everything that they do, they take all the things from the river. That is where their strength comes from. They do heal people using the marine spirits, in which in our Shona culture, the marine spirits, we do not consider them as bad spirits, but to me, there were other relatives that then turned this good mermaid that was giving me money to turning it into something that is as evil as it has become right now. We went to that white garment prophet who did the first ritual on my behalf. So what we had to do was to buy some sorghum, and we had to buy that Indian rice, the basmati one, the original rice with the long grain. We bought that white rice. We bought some sweets as well as some wine, sweets and other stuff, and traditional beer in form of chibuku. And then we went to this other river, which was said to be a river that is forbidden, where mermaids are seen. Whilst we were there, then we knelt down and then we started to praise the water spirits. After that, then I was told that I had to enter into the river. When I entered into the river, strange things, Brother Nashi, like you say, they do happen in this world. So I had to be baptized 3 times, and I was so scared. You know, they are sea creatures. I saw a snake the moment that I entered into the river. This was a snake that I saw, and the moment that I was baptized the first time, I felt this snake as it was rubbing itself against my legs. The second and the third time, I just heard a voice that said, "This is your death and your resurrection." When I opened my eyes, so my mom on the outside and that prophet, they thought that I had drowned. They were busy looking for me, but I only drowned for about 6 minutes, and then they found me. But the spirit world is quite different from this world that we know, because when I was in the spiritual realm underneath the water, these 6 minutes, it was like, I don't know, 60 years. The information that I was told, the things that I saw, no one can ever think and comprehend all those things that I saw in only 6 minutes. And when finally I came out of the water, I thought that maybe many years had passed, yet my mom and that prophet said, "You were gone for 6 minutes." I asked them what had happened. They said that it seemed as if there was a powerful force that dragged me underneath the water the time that I was baptized the 3rd time. I then told the prophet what had happened. I felt like the snake that was rubbing itself against my leg, and then the voice that said, "Death and your resurrection has come." And then when I opened my eyes, I saw that I was underneath the water, yet I was able to breathe. That was when I saw a very beautiful mermaid. She was dark as I am, African as I am, the most beautiful woman that I had ever seen. She was half human, half fish. She then said, "Come, my child," and she was wearing these beads that were made of gold, and she had a magnetic charm that she had, which she later gave to me. The other things that I saw underneath the water, I am forbidden to tell you, as well as the food that they gave to me. And I saw that underneath the water, there are caves which are dry, where people can even live. No water can ever touch you in those caves that I saw. And then I was baptized, and I saw a spirit that came out of a rock. This spirit that came out of a rock, it was more like a snake, and it entered into my heart. And then I was told to return back. The moment that the mermaid said, "Return back, my child," that was when I found myself out of the water, gasping for air. And my mom was just sad because she could not cry. Otherwise, this mermaid, according to the prophet, was going to kill me. And when I was underneath the water, there was a mission that was given to me. If it happens that my relatives were not going to perform the right rituals, so the mission was clear. If my family will not be able to perform this ritual, then I had to destroy marriages and spread chaos as much as I can. After that, that was when We returned back home and my mom spoke with my father. My father agreed. So then my father bought some of those traditional clothings. In our country, we call them machira emashavi, which are worn by people that have ancestors on them. So the one that my father bought for me, it was gold in color, blue, and then a white one. So it happened that my father was supposed to inform his relatives after the dedication. We went fine, me, my father, a traditional healer, and then the white garment prophet, and a few of my supporting relatives. So whilst we were there was one of my auntie who did not want this to happen to me, who wanted these marine spirits to be on her own daughter. So she started to cry. And if you are Shona speaking, you know that when you are dealing with the marine spirits, they do not want to see tears on your face, otherwise they are going to kill. She waited for the right moment when I was being baptized again. This time around, I was wearing that golden cloth that represents wealth. When I was being dipped into the water, she started to cry, and I saw that the once beautiful marine spirit, the mermaid that had told me the mission that I was supposed to perform, as well as giving me good luck and having any man that I want, I saw her transforming into this dark angel that was quite scary. She screamed at me and I could not hear what she was saying, and she disappeared. When I came out of the water, I was sad. I did not want to talk to anyone because I knew what had happened. Even the prophet said something bad had happened. So all the money that I was making, it stopped coming to me, for the mermaid was angry. It then happened that I ran away from home. When I ran away from home, I started working as a prostitute in Harare, making my parents to become so sad with the potential that I had working with the marine spirits to become wealthy, to bring wealth to the family. But this was where I was working as a prostitute. So this marine spirit was the one that gave me beauty, so much that any man that would look at me will come to me with a lot of money. And then I remember one man who was a pastor. The first time that he came, how could I have ever known that he was a pastor? He was lonely in his marriage. After we spent the night together, his wife found out and their marriage fell apart. He was physically attracted to me and spiritually attracted to me, and I planted the seeds of distrust to the Lord in his heart. And this man, he stopped being a pastor and he became a drunkard. I don't know if he is still alive. So I continued doing this. Then the money started flowing when I had a dream and saw the same marine spirit reminding me about the mission. If my relatives would not have been able to complete that ritual and said they did not do this ritual with their hearts joined together as one, they failed to dedicate you to me properly. So I am going to use you for my own good. And this was not the same marine spirit that I had met when it had pulled me down into the water. She was something that was quite evil. She gave me a lot of great gifts, but she told me that these gifts would come at a price. So at night I do feel the presence of a mermaid in my room. Sometimes I do have dreams being dragged into the ocean, being fed some food that will make men to be attracted to me. I tried to live this life, but the dreams that I have are quite scary, and you cannot fight with a marine spirit. So I then came to South Africa. When I came here, I met a prayerful woman, and this woman, I had no bad intentions. The only thing that she tried to do was to pray for me, but that was the mistake that she did, because I then was told that I had to attack her where I was going to hurt her the most, and by hurting her the most, by making her to break up with her husband. The day that she found out that her husband was sleeping with her little sister, that was the day that she was so much broken. But it was I would leave my own body and go and possess her little sister's body, and then I would start to seduce her husband. I enjoyed sleeping her husband but not sleeping with him like physically, spiritually, using the little sister's body. This is my own confession. I do come from the marine spirits, and from the marine spirits I will return after I die. Dear listeners, right there was a confession that I received. That was the translation of that message, hoping that you were able to understand. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.